When you think of an annual report, you probably think of dry, boring financials. Well, forget that. We're about to decode a document that feels more like a manifesto for the future. Tata Consultancy Services, or TCS, just laid out their 2025 vision, and trust me, they're talking about a lot more than just profits. They're talking about a fundamental change to our world. Let's dive in.
And this is the line, right here. This is what sets the tone for everything else. They aren't just talking about a cool new product or a simple upgrade. TCS is framing the rise of generative AI as a complete change in how we live and work, a civilizational shift. I mean, wow, that is a massive statement to make.
So that's the big question, right? If you truly believe you're standing at the dawn of a new era, what do you do? How do you get your company, your clients, and your people ready for something that big? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
Okay, so how do you prepare for a civilizational shift? For TCS, the answer is crystal clear. You go all in on the technology that's driving it. And of course, we're talking about generative AI. For them, this isn't some side project. It's the new core of their entire operation.
Think about it. For a company that built its entire empire on IT services and outsourcing, this is a huge strategic pivot. AI isn't just another tool they're adding to the toolbox. They see it as a foundational layer that's going to redefine every single service they offer, from business analytics all the way to product development.
Now, what's really cool here is just how concrete their plan is. This isn't just some vague, high-level talk. They're building accessible AI platforms that people can actually use. They're creating over 150 specialized AI agents for different industries. They're embedding AI right into their existing services, and this part is key, they're making sure it's all secure on sovereign clouds. That's basically a fancy way of saying the data stays within a specific country's borders, which you can imagine is a huge deal for security and regulations. It's a really clear four-step playbook.
But look, a strategy is only as good as its execution, right? So where is all this AI-driven vision actually being put to work? Well, the answer is in their massive global partnerships.
A perfect example is what they're doing with Air New Zealand. I mean, they're taking a pretty traditional industry like aviation and just completely overhauling its digital backbone. And we're not just talking about a better website here. This is about using AI to drive real efficiency in everything from managing the fleet to scheduling the crews.
And then you've got this, which brilliantly shows off their high-tech side. Partnering with a Formula E team like Jaguar TCS Racing, that's so much more than just sticking a logo on a car. It's a high-stakes, real-world lab for pushing the absolute limits of AI and sustainable tech in a very public, very demanding environment. And the reach is just incredibly broad. One day they're building digital platforms for European telecom giants like Fanta Towers, and the next they're implementing Ireland's massive new national pension system. It's a 15-year project that's going to affect nearly 800,000 workers. The scale is just immense.
And this number, this really drives home the scale we're talking about. 64. That's how many of their clients spend over $100 million a year with them each. These aren't small projects. These are incredibly deep, long-term partnerships with some of the biggest companies on the planet.
But look, for a company that operates on this scale, the story can't just be about tech and profit. It can't be. And TCS spends a pretty significant part of their report talking about their social impact and what they're actually doing for communities. And they really approach this from two different angles. On one side, you have these huge, high-profile sponsorships of major world marathons. We're talking New York, London, Sydney. And on the other, you have this grassroots, hands-on employee volunteering making a direct impact right in their local community. The impact of those big sponsorships alone is just staggering. In 2024, just the 14 running events that TCS sponsored around the world helped raise nearly $280 million for charity. That's a massive philanthropic engine right there.
But, huge numbers only tell part of the story. The report also zooms right in on how their corporate social responsibility programs, their CSR programs, are changing individual lives. It's really about translating those millions of dollars into real-world opportunities for real people.
And that brings us to the story of Jiba Malar. She came from a small town with a dream of supporting her family. She went through the TCS Youth Employment Program, got the communication and interview skills she needed, and landed a job at Tata Power. Her story is really held up as proof that these programs can create truly life-changing opportunities.
So who's steering this massive ship through what they're calling a civilizational shift? Well, the final piece of the puzzle here is the leadership, the people and the plan they have in place.
And there's a really significant transition happening right now. After almost 4 decades with the company, the COO, N. Ganapathy Subramaniam, has retired. Stepping into that absolutely critical role is Arthi Subramaniam, who's now tasked with charting the company's course through this new AI-driven era.
Now, a quick look at their governance shows a board where the majority of directors, over 62%, are independent. Now, I know this can sound a bit dry, but it's a really important metric. It's designed to make sure the board is providing objective oversight and isn't just an echo chamber for management.
The report also makes a point to highlight the board's diversity. A quarter of the directors are women, you've got 4 different nationalities represented, and the members bring in expertise from over 6 different industries: banking, energy, you name it. The whole idea is to get a really wide range of perspectives at the absolute highest level of decision-making.
All right, so after digging through all of this, what's the core narrative here? What's the 1-minute version of the story that TCS wants to tell the world about itself in 2025?
It really boils down to 3 key things. First, they see themselves as an innovator at the absolute forefront of this monumental shift being driven by AI. Second, they're a trusted, essential partner to the world's largest companies. And third, they're a company that measures its success not just in profit, but in its positive impact on society.
And that kind of leaves us with the big, lingering question. TCS themselves called AI a civilizational shift. As this technology completely reshapes everything around us, the real challenge for them, and for every other tech giant, is going to be navigating the immense responsibility that comes with that power. How do you innovate at light speed while also making sure that the human element isn't left behind? That's the balance that they, and really all of us, are going to